Okay, item 5. Greg, you give the manager's report, and this will be for 2 months since
Yes, sir.
weather kept us away from our last meeting.
Well, in January, the total fuel sales with oil were $12,654.23. It's a rather slow month. In February, total sales were $11,122.26. And a lot of the reason in February was because of weather.
Just less flying for that 1 week.
Exactly.
Knocked you down about 8% in fuel sales.
And the helicopter hasn't flown in probably 2 weeks. It's just too late. The new runway update, I've got a letter from Mike Wynn at the FAA stating that the 2009 project grant is closed. I've contacted Kyle Sewell with Myers Engineering for an update on the GPS approach, and he stated to me that they're still uploading our data to the GIS website and are correcting any errors found.
They've been doing that for at least 60 days.
Yeah.
Is there a point at which we conclude that?
Well, they told me it would take 6 months. It could take
6 months?
I'm sure everyone's heard about the sequester. I'm not sure how that's going to affect the FAA. Once this goes to the FAA, maybe delays. Nobody really knows right now. I attended the OAOA meeting, Airport Owners and Operators Association, and the meeting consisted mainly about discussion of the asset report that was done by the FAA and the proposed addition of a wildlife hazard site visit requirement to the grant assurance for AIP funds. While they've been told that the asset report will have no impact on funding, the discussion at the meeting was that no general aviation airports were allowed any input into how airports are classified in this study. The airport operators' challenge is that we were not aware of the existence of this study until after publication, and therefore were afforded no opportunity to present our views. I quote this from a letter sent by Dan, I'm going to attempt to pronounce his last name, Onesorge, who is the president of the OAOA. Some of the members feel that the definitions need to be modified and that the general aviation community needs to have an opportunity to provide its thoughts. One of the things about this study was there was, I believe, 90 some odd airports that didn't fall into any specific classification that they have right now. And the classifications that they're changing to are major, regional, local, basic, and local. I believe that's correct. I have the report here if anybody cares to read through it. It's not that long. The wildlife hazard site visits is a proposal by the FAA to clarify grant assurance number 19, operation and maintenance, which is required of an airport sponsor as a condition of receiving a development grant under the Airport Improvement Program. This clarification would require airports to conduct wildlife hazard site visits or wildlife hazard assessments as a condition of receiving a development grant from the FAA. And a discussion at the meeting consisted of providing a comment to this notice, such as who performs the wildlife visit. The comment suggested was the wildlife visit be performed by government agencies such as the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Department. Additionally, they commented that the potential exists that in Oklahoma alone, we will be spending approximately $70,000 for the assessments at 96 airports. And with some of these in relatively close proximity, some regional consolidation of efforts could be achieved in that the hazards are similar in many areas.
70,000 total or for each airport?
I believe that's total. for the assessment of 96 airports, is my understanding.
They worry about birds or deer or anything?
Everything, all kinds of wildlife, anything, migratory birds, whatever. And this all stems, I believe, from the crash that happened at Wally Post a few years back with some geese, I think it was geese. And I believe that's what this stems from, was my understanding of what was discussed.
What do they do if they find that there is a wildlife there?
I don't know, this is simply a proposal.
Okay.
The main thing is just to do everything that you can do to mitigate any wildlife hazards at your airport. Migratory birds is not a whole lot we can do. Grayson Argy's with the Oklahoma Aeronautics Commission also provided a short lecture on the how and why the airport inspection is conducted. And also discussed was the upcoming OA conference to be held April 8th through the 10th in Midwest City. And I wanted to ask the board if they would like me to attend this conference or not. It's a 3-day conference in April.
Didn't we send, didn't we send,
Eric,
yes, thank you for that one.
I know we sent him.
he went
Went down to Texas for one, and then he went to,
We go to Oklahoma City area for something.
yeah, I was going to say, somewhere around Oklahoma
We,
City.
I think we'll participate, we belong to it.
I've got a postcard here of some of the things that they're going to be going on, if you want.
Well, now that's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
It is.
So, do we have someone to
And I
cover
believe
for you?
Is that board meeting night?
Yes, it is. Well, maybe we could put the board meeting off till the 15th for you to give your report.
well, that overlaps with the city council.
Yeah, that's just what I started to say, then that's not right. But what do we do about somebody taking your place here? Will we just not have an attendant?
Well, I would have to get with the part-time guys and have them work where we can
okay.
schedule someone to be here.
Well, does that look like something that Greg needs to be there?
Yeah, it talks about emergency response planning, promotion of the airport, wildlife management, that kind of stuff.
I know there'll be some more discussion on the asset report and the wildlife hazard.
I think last time we covered, I can't remember, it doesn't really give us, it seemed like we covered 2 nights motel and travel down there and back, if I remember right, on that. I've slept since then, so I don't remember exactly. But we should be money in the travel. It seemed like that came out of our travel budget last time.
I believe there still is some money in the travel budget.
And this is April, so we only have to make through May through June. Are we planning any other travel?
I don't know.
In May or June? But
Nothing I'm aware of. I think the motel is $99 a night.
here's the,
Well, it's good to have your face at those things.
well, we pay dues to be a part of that, right?
Right.
So it's
The
already
registration fee's already
taken care of.
Yeah.
I think I think we should participate in it because we pay the dues.
Okay,
I think
do it.
So I will
Be
attend.
prudent in your planning.
Exactly. I'll make sure I'm covered here.
My airport is better because
We care.
we care. That's right.
I believe that brings us to other items, which Transaero, one of the Transaero helicopters has finished their job and left the airport. The other helicopter reports they have approximately 7 to 9 days of flying to finish their current job, and they will be moving to Stillwater, is my understanding. Unless we can get them a contract here to keep them. Kim Humphreys with 66 Construction was here for an estimate on the installation on the maintenance hangar, and his quote came to $26,575 for the complete building and $18,690 for just the roof only. That is quote here to see exactly what he was proposing. And that is removing the existing tin and the damaged insulation and replacing it with 3-inch vinyl reinforced fiberglass metal building insulation. Putting the tin back on, using new fasteners, closures, masons, and sealants.
Is this a company from around here?
He is from Kiowa.
Oh, okay.
The Building Solutions was the same thing, right?
He actually,
Oh, that was spray-on.
right. It was a little cheaper. It was $21,092, and he proposed using spray-on foam insulation for the complete building. He wouldn't have to pull off any tin to do it. Is what he told me.
Anybody know anything about insulation? I don't.
I'm still just shocked that it costs that much money to re-insulate a building.
How much, did you get any kind of a breakdown on that quote?
From Northwest Buildings?
No, from 66.
Yeah, that's right.
How much of that was labor to remove the tin, do you know?
I don't know if he figured out cost breakdown.
Well, the reason I ask is there's a builder here in town that we're in the process of having to rebuild the building, so I've been exposed to some things, but there's a contractor here in town who has, in order to get thicker like 8-inch insulation in the building, puts 2 rolls of that 3-inch on there and then tins the inside of the building. So I'm wondering if maybe we shouldn't look at, rather than take down what foam is there, kind of temporary patch in what is falling down, but then just add an additional layer and put a layer of tin over it on the inside, rather than have to take off what's already there. If that could be cheaper, it'd be warmer, because you'd be doubling the amount of insulation.
Yeah, one of the systems they're doing on these metal buildings is they're putting some straps and then laying 8-inch insulation on top of the straps, without doing all of the tin. And straps folded up. But I think you have to take the roof off to do that.
This you wouldn't have to take the roof off.
Right.
It's just another thing to look at.
Well, get your
Mayor
guy.
raised his hand.
Yes, sir.
I'd be afraid to spray over that insulation that's in there.
Oh, it'll fall down.
No, I think he was going to remove it.
Remove it
Was
all,
my
then come back
understanding.
and spray.
That was my understanding.
I had that spray on put in the cleaning closet.
I don't think it was sick or what's on it.
Generates. And it was very effective.
That would certainly seal any cracks.
Dale uses it for airplane maintenance.
Whole building
Yeah,
is part of it.
all of it.
Oh,
I mean, he's got like 3 or 4 airplanes in there right now. I mean, he's an asset to the airport.
Absolutely.
oh, thank goodness. I don't know what we'd do without it.
And well, Paul, would your guy want to come and look at it and give
Yeah,
us
I'll see if he can.
see if he'd come out and give us a quote? You know, it's nothing that has to happen today, but we need to keep this project moving forward, and at some point get this building fixed.
And maybe something we could do in segments, where like maybe do the roof now or the ceiling now, and then do the
Well, that's why
sidewalk
we had 66 quote
and stuff.
roof and walls separately to spread out some cost.
Do you know the basic size of that building offhand?
Isn't it 40 by 80 or 40 by 60?
I think it's 40 by 60.
40 by 60.
Okay. Let me see, I hadn't even thought of this procedure, but this may be an alternative way where we don't have to disassemble
Mhm.
or expose anything to the elements in order to do it, so. I'll see what I can do on that.
What kind of insulation is it now?
It's about 1 inch fiberglass with the vinyl backing. And the today's vinyl backing has nylon strands woven into it. And that, back then they didn't do that. Well, the vinyl is just coming apart. You get one little tear in it, and it just rips the whole distance to the purlin. I was in that building a couple of days ago, and it's a what they call a Z purlin construction. It just it looks like to me you could get a panel that you could hook up in there, and then have a tab that you screw up to the next purlin. You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
If I had an insulation panel, I would think that technology's out there. I think we need to do some. Paul, go forward with your gentleman and Google insulation on the internet. Kind of do some research and see if there's. You see what I'm thinking of? Is a panel.
Are you talking about the foam panel board, like the 1 inch thick stuff? Is that what you're talking about?
Really?
Sheeting?
Maybe 3 inches.
I had something that was about 3 inches, and it had a layer of paper, not paper, but can't think
The
of.
foil,
Yeah, foil on top of it, and it came in panels.
Mm-hmm.
And
like
it-
8x4.
But instead of foil, if the backing was some type of real thin board or aluminum,
This was years ago, so I'm sure things have improved
Good.
since then.
if it was maybe like a corrugated aluminum or something that would give it the strength, and then you could screw it on the one side, and of course your Z purlin would hold the other side up, because inside it's a clean building as far as there's no weird angles or the electrical is at a minimum. It's pretty simple, straightforward. Something
Okay.
maybe we can look at doing that. Okay.
Okay. Do you want me to cover the carports in my report? I know that it's on the agenda.
Let's wait till we get to the agenda.
Okay. I was asked to obtain some estimates to replace the headliner and paint the old courtesy car, and I was kind of shocked when I got that done. Lear's Body Shop provided the highest estimate with a quote of $544.69 to replace the headliner and $5,517.80 to repaint it, for a total of $6,062.49.
What year model car is it? How many miles is on it?
It's 80 some miles.
88 or 89, isn't it?
I think the mileage I would have to
Would you even get that much out of the car if you sold it?
look. No, I don't
So it's
think
a 24-year-old car.
Yeah, true.
Now, I had a headliner put in my minivan last year, and K&K did it, and they did it for less than $200 in that minivan. So that's
Well, I got an estimate from Alva Body and Fender Works, which is Rhodes, and they provided a quote of $250 to replace the headliner and $2,500 to repaint, for a total of $2,750. K&K provided a quote of $2,670.50 to replace the headliner and repaint. Total cost. Final item is Eric Brewer's Lisa Spot in Round Top, which that old car, even $2,670 to repaint it and put a headliner in, I don't know if it,
How's the car mechanically? Does somebody
It
drive around
runs
town
fine.
for the next 10 years?
oh yeah.
Didn't
we
you put
couldn't we couldn't replace it for $2,600.
Didn't you put a new battery in
I
it
did.
not long ago?
Mhm.
That's what I thought.
I mean, if it's something that's
Actually, to totally repaint it and put a headliner in, that's the 2,600.
Are the seats good? Seats are good, aren't they?
Seats are average,
Yeah.
a little bit of wear.
I mean, they're not ripped up. There's no,
No,
holes
no.
or anything.
I think I called the Votech and see what they did for a project car.
Well,
they're not too interested.
We tried that.
Yeah, we tried that.
We did.
Yeah.
Well, there's always some.
It was a good
kids out
idea,
there-
it didn't work.
There's always some kids need project cars.
Yeah.
I don't
But
know.
then it takes months to get, when you get it in, then it takes a long time to get it back out.
Well, it took a year.
Well, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Public Works used to paint, well, they still do paint our equipment. You like white.
Did match the other car.
Yeah, and the pickup,
Well,
and
we
the
don't
fuel
want to,
trucks.
yeah, we don't want to change the color. 'Cause then you have to spray inside the.
Door jambs.
Door panels.
Seen it both ways, Greg. I think that, you know, I can see if Public Works could get the prison crews to sand that down.
I mean, if the car's sound mechanically and it's something that'll be drivable around here for 10 years, we use it as a secondary courtesy car or errand car for out here or something. You know, it's hard to replace anything that's not a junker for $2,600. We couldn't replace it for $2,600.
And
So if
that's
it looks
good tires.
decent and the headliner's in it, you know, it makes us look better. You know,
Well, do we need to vote on this, or do we?
it's a line item. We're on the next.
About,
It's a line item. isn't
No.
it?
no, that's isn't.
Oh, that's to use the new courtesy car. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And this red. Okay.
But I mean, do we need to put this on the agenda for next week? I mean, next month, or do we make a decision right now on it?
Put it on the agenda. We don't have to do it, but let's put it on there.
In the meantime, why don't you check out what the mayor suggested, see if the public works is any way to paint.
Could have a body shop put the headliner in with Public Works painted.
The way those headliners go in, you take the old one out, it's just a piece of cardboard. And Kurt Washburn says he turns it inside out, and then he doesn't have to peel the old headliner off.
Are the sun visors okay?
The new headliner on.
They would need to replace.
Cardboard.
They need to be replaced
Yeah.
too.
Are you finished?
That's it, yes, sir.
All right. Also, Greg, on snow removal, I'd like to thank Eric Brewer and Wes Miller. They spend a lot of time, their fuel and their equipment out here cleaning snow about 4 times.
I think we need to thank the chairman too.
So
He
to
brought
say,
his
didn't
own
our chairman
equipment
do
out
some
here.
work too?
I was at her 10 minutes one day.